everyone. We are back with another Cali Co mystery block. This is block 2. I'm doing some catch up because she's also got 3 out, but we're going to work on 2 today. And that's the block. And so we're going to start with our cutting that we need to do, and we'll work through that, and then we'll put this block together. Looks pretty simple. I am actually using the Cali Co fabrics. Let's go over to the cutting table and we'll prep all this and then we'll sew it all together. I'll see you. All right, folks, we are going to start on this block. This is our month 2 of the Cali Co, and we are going to cut some fabric. So in the last video, the last cutting video, prepping, I actually went ahead and did several of these as she suggested. And so we'll be cutting some of those up. I'm going to set those aside for a second. I do have my tea. Okay. So I can tell that I used these fabrics the last time because they're a lot smaller than my others. So I'm going to actually set these aside for now. And we're going to pull from the ones I haven't done yet. So it looks like we want 16 squares. So we're going to make 32 half square triangles, but we only need 16. So 16 of them we're going to set aside, which we are okay with. So we need 16 squares. So I want the squares to be different. Do I have 16 different fabrics here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ooh, almost. So there's 14. Let me grab. Let's do 14, 15, and 16. So there's my 16 that I'm going to work with. And we're going to cut. So let's take a look at what we've got. Pink. Pink. There we have it. There's our 16 3 by 3s. Okay. And these are A's. All right. What's next? We need a couple rectangles. We need 2 rectangles for B, which is that outer border, and then 2 rectangles for C, which is here. So that's actually, they want us to do 4. That's 4 squares. Those are the big 4 squares. So let's do, we need 4 different fabrics for our rectangles. So let's do that. And I'm going to pull that from our other stash. Not the one that we just cut, but our other stash. We're going to go back to the one we cut for our first block. And I think I like that. And I like this one. I like this one and this one. So I think these are going to be our 4 squares. And leave that there. And then let's do like this one. Let's pull this one. And let's do pull the red one. Let's pull the blue one. And let's do the yellow. There we go. All right. Okay, so these are the colors that I've chosen for the strips. Let me show you. So these strips here on top. Trying to get stuff out of my way. I'm going to cut them all at the same time. Want a straight side. Okay. And then we want 1.5. 1.5 is what our measurement is. almost. Okay. And then these are going to be, these four are going to be, actually, the two, start with two. These two. So the first two are going to be 10 and a half. 10 and a half. Okay, so these two, 10 and a half, and these are going to be B. So I'm going to grab B. Those are B. Put those on our design board. And then set this aside. And then these two, also 1 and a half. I think are going to be 12 and a half. Yep, these are going to be 12 and a half. Twelve and a half. Okay. So now we have those. And these are C. Put those on our design board. We're filling up our design board over here. All right, so the next we're going to cut, these were the 4 that I wanted to cut. We got to cut 4 by 4.5 by 4.5 squares. And I want them all to be different. Okay. And we want these to be 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. And I know that these strips she actually uses in, I suspect, looking at because this is block 2, looking at block 3, I could use these strips. So I'm not wasting all that fabric, just so you all know. I think that one's so pretty. Cherries. Four and a half. Set this aside because we'll use that. Sure, we will use that. All right, so here's our 4.5 blocks. There we go. Okay. And these are D. So we're going to grab our alphabetties and put that on our design board. And now we are going to, these are all scraps we can use for other ones. All right, so now we're going to do, we need 16 we're going to do our background fabric. This has got such a pretty, can you all see that pattern on there? It's just so pretty. Very pretty fabric. All right, so we need, are these 3? They are. Lovely. So we need 16 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and double it up. Three. There's 4. There's 8. $12. We need 16. So let's open this up and see if we can't get. Look at that. There's 3. And all we have to do is just trim this one. We'll get a couple more out of there. There's 14. Let's grab one more. And 16. So there's our 16 background fabrics. And these are E. And then we need some triangles. So we're going to keep this, of course. I'm going to add this back to what I've cut already. And we're going to grab one of these. And we need 2. Open it up. Trim it off. And we need 8.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5. Okay, so there's 8.5, and these, and there's 2 of them. There's 2 of them. And these are F. Okay, and then we need a 10, we need 2 10.5s. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.5. Okay. So there's our two 10.5. And these are G. All right, folks. Let's look at what we've got. Then we'll go over to the sewing machine. We'll sew it up. So here's what we've got. Make sure y'all can see it. So here's our 3x3. And we've got 16 of those. These are going to go with it. These are the background because we're going to make half square triangles. These are 4.5 by 4.5. There's 4 of them. We've got C. There's 2 of those. B. There's 2 of these. These were 10. These were 10.5, and these were 12.5. And then we have our background. And these are 8.5, and these are 10.5. We are ready to go over to, I'll show you a little bit closer. Okay, we're ready to go over to the sewing machine. So I'll see you in just a bit, and we'll sew this block up. All right, folks, we have cut for our block, and we have it here. And now let's get it sewn up. So let's see what we need to do. I think we're going to make half square triangles. We are. So we're going to use A&E. A&E is what we're going to start with. And I'm going to make a line on the back of the fabric. Okay. So I've got all of them, all 16 marked. And now we're going to take A, because that was E, and we're going to make half square triangles. So I'm going to put them right sides to right sides. And I've got my line, so I'm going to sew on either side of that. So I'm going to sew 1/4 inch on one side and then 1/4 inch on the other. But I'll run them all through once, and then I'll run them all through twice so that I can get on both sides. now we're going to cut these. Cut them all. I'm going to cut them right on the red line, or whatever color line you have. Mine's red. Right down between where we... Okay. So I think they have to be 2.5 by 2.5. So I'm going to press them and trim them to 2.5 by 2.5, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've gone ahead and trimmed up all of my half square triangles, and we're only going to use 16. So we're going to, because there's of course 2 of the same color. So I'm going to go ahead and split those into our 2 piles. All right, just like so. Okay, we're going to look at these. And these I'm going to put aside. I'm actually going to put them right in my box. Sorry if that was loud. Okay. Set that aside. All right. Hi, Jinx. Go on. Go on, buddy. Go on, buddy. Jinx came to see me. All right. So let's get a design board. Let's get a design board, and we're gonna play a little bit on a design board, I think. And we're going to lay out our half square triangles. So let's lay them out first. And okay, I think it's how I like it. Let's just make sure I've got everything going the correct way. Okay, that's the way I'm going to sew them. That's the way I'm going to sew them. Okay, so I'm going to open them back up. And I just want to make sure. Okay, I'm going to sew these together. You could batch sew these. I'm going to take my time with it and sew each row, build each row. Perfect. And we're going to, it's going to go like this. So we're going to press everything that way on this one. Okay, I had to flip out my battery. So we've got row 1. We'll do the same thing for row 2. Okay, so row 2, I'm going to press going this way. This should be good. Okay, we're going to keep going. On to our 3rd row. And our 3rd row, low jinks. So our 3rd row is going to be pushed this way. Okay. Just laying them on my design board. Let's do this last row. I just pulled that up and I didn't look to see what I had going on. Okay. Distracted. Dude, I got distracted. Okay, and then this last row is going to be pressed this way. All right. So that's going to be like that. Okay, so this is what we have so far. We have all 4 rows. Pretty cool. Now we're going to put the rows together. And if you've sewn with me before, you know I like to pin. It's just a thing. I want to make sure that everything nests and fits in where it's supposed to. Okay, do this first one. Yay, it looks great. So I'm going to press all these down from our top one. So we're going to press them. All right, so now we have that unit getting there. And put the other one together, the other two together, I should say. And it makes it a little bit easier because of the way that we pressed. She gives you the way to press, so that way you can nest them. They'll nest, which means they'll join right in there together. And that is always good. It is always good when that works. Okay. Looks good. It looks good. It's cute. So we're going to press this one down. So I want it to go this way. Okay, so now we have these two units. This one and this one. So now we're going to put those together. Okay. All right, I'm going to press that one down as well. So now we have that block. Okay, so now, take care of that page. So now we're going to add, F first. And these are borders for each side. So they'll go along here. Okay, I'm just going to turn it around and we're going to do this other side. Okay. Alright, so now let's press those. Beautiful. Alright, so now we have this unit. And we're going to put on the other, we're going to put on, what are we putting on? We're putting on G. I'm going to put on G. We're going to put on G. Okay. Put on. And put on the other side, and then we'll press it. Okay, so let's go ahead and press those out. Okay. All right, so now we have that done. And then we are going to take B. And B is going to go on each side. And I think I'll do it just like that. Turn it around. I'm going to add my yellow cherries to the other side. Lost my piece. All right, let's press those. All right, so now we have this, the blue and the, now we're going to do top and bottom. So we're going to grab C. And let's take a look at what we've got. So I think I'm going to have that one and this one. I'm going to go that one. Let's do that. Okay. Turn it around. I'm going to add my red strip to this side. Okay, let's go ahead and press that out. Jinxie, hush. What are you doing? What are you doing? Behave yourself. Alright, so now we have that unit. Alright, so now all we have left is D. And I'm going to set this block aside for a second because we're going to do the same thing we did before. And we're going to draw a diagonal line from corner to corner first. We'll do that on all of them, all 4 of them. Okay, and then the red line that I just drew corner to corner, I'm going to put my half-inch mark, my half-inch line on that line, so 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to do another mark. So now I have 2 marks. Okay, so I'm going to do that with each one. So now I'm going to take a block. We're going to look at our block and we're going to decide where we want the colors. What? Don't want blue down here, so I think I'm going to put that one there. Maybe yellow in this corner. Maybe orange in this corner, and then green in that corner. I think that's the way I'll have them. So I'm going to go ahead and pin them. But so that second line that we drew will go towards the outside, and we'll line up our first line from corner to corner on our block. And I'm going to put a pin in. So that's where I want it to be. I'm going to do 2 pins. Keep it where I want. And then we're going to turn it. We're going to do the same thing with our other ones. Just line them up. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to sew on both of those lines. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go and trim right in the middle. Because now we have this unit. We're going to cut this off. Okay, so let's press it. And there's our block. It's month 2. There's our block. So now we also have these 4 additional ones, which we're going to press to, we're going to press these out. And these will be 3.5 by 3.5. So we'll trim those down. We'll use those in another one, she says. So then we have these cute little blocks. So I'll go ahead and trim those down, but that takes care of block 2 for the Cali Co and Cali Co and Company block of the month. So if you enjoyed this, I've got month 1 and the cutting for that already posted, so feel free to look at that as well. So we're on to 3. I'll see you later, folks. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.